Hey y'all, it's Freeze Cracked. Hey, somebody online asked me to talk about support and percussion. What did I do with my other pad? There it is. I'm used to having it. Asked me to talk about support. Support is like critical with percussion and pressure, and abrading is critical also, and both of them are poorly understood, I think. But anyway, this rock is a problem, and I don't know anything about this rock really. It's got cracks in it that I can see. It's long, it's kind of bent right in the middle here, and it's just one of those kind of things that can go bad in a hurry. And it's squared off, it's got big square edges, and trying to get this thing reduced is something that, and straight and all, is not something that's easy. So I thought I'd just mess with it some and see what happens. When you're supporting a long thing, you've got to use your legs some, because you can hold it on one end, but you can't really get your hand all along it. You can kind of, but not really good. So you can either, hold it on the back and put the front end on the pad and hit, or you can hold it on the front and put the back end on the pad and your leg and hit. So it just all kind of depends on what you're most comfortable with doing. And I can do it either way, but I'll jam it in my leg and hold it here. And I'm holding the back real tight, and I just caught a little bit too little of the edge. See, what you can see is that because of the back edge support being strong, it just went ahead and wrapped on over there. Which, again, I've said this before, but that's good, because big old square back edge here, I'd like it to go over there, because then I get rid of some of the square edge without losing any width over there. It just blows off and I'm not losing any width, and I don't have much width to spare, so it's important. And again, always remember, especially when you have a long piece like this, you want to get weight off your ends. Don't be thin in the middle and then try and go work the ends, because you have a problem. So I've been holding it that way. Well, I'll hold it this way. I'll hold it at the back, put a finger behind it here, and put the end down on here. And it wraps. Either one works, it's just a matter of what you prefer, or what you're most accurate with, or what works best for you. Now you see I'm raising this up. Well, I'm not to the center line yet of where a point would be in here, so that's not a problem. I'm not losing length yet. This particular rock, that cortex on the end is pretty soft, and that's a problem because it dampens the blows. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, and I got this big curve here, so I'm going to go ahead. I've got a good kind of a platform there, and hit it there and get a little weight of this front off. I'm holding strong back there and back in the back and all down to here, and it blew the whole edge off over there and kind of wrapped around there, and about half of that square edge is gone now. So anyway, I'm not sure what this rock is even. That may sound ignorant, but it was just in with some other stuff that I got at a napkin. It's kind of hard to film and evaluate at the same time, but that's what I'm doing. So I'm pushing this all the way around, wrapping it in, and hitting on soft cortex and not doing anything good. So that would be like super embarrassing if I cared. Is this like mozarkite or something? I don't know what this is. That one I hit at a little bit more downward angle because it was low and had a low spot hanging out. I didn't want to hinge it. So now I've raised that edge a little bit and I can hit a little harder in here and blow off more of the side. And reducing this more, and I haven't hit this over here, but a lot of the problem is gone and this is all getting kind of flat. Bringing it down. This up here is going to be a real pain challenge, so I'm trying to do what I can on the side that's less problematic first. Well, do another one in here, I guess. And then one right here. And then I'm coming down to this end and trying to do something here. It's actually kind of hard to hold, but I could maybe hit it that way, but it's not as good. I'm going to actually hold the front end and put this on my leg, but the problem is I think it may be softer. Yep, this is chalk. If you're ever trying to do something important, don't do it on chalk. I've got quite a bit of chalk right on that end, and I really kind of need that end beveled off to be able to shoot back up that way. And it's all chalk. And I don't want to get the angle the wrong direction, because if I do that, I got a problem. I'm stepping down one size to try and get a little bit more speed. I'm going to try and switch over to this side. I can't hit right on the end on this side. Oh, that's really chalk. So I took that off and raising that a little bit. I'm trying to come up with my angle. And that's all chalk anyway, so it's not like I'm losing anything of value, because I can't incorporate that into the point anyway. But I'm putting this all along my arm and the back edge and holding underneath and pushing in the pad, tilting it downward, and I'm trying to hit at an angle to raise it up even more. But you can see everything from like here out is chalk. But oh well. So now I come down and I support underneath here because I don't want to set up a vibrational end snap and make this thing fall apart right in the middle. And so now I've got that. Now, this is way too low to hit, but I wanted this angle up here. You'd like to get that hanging down stuff off there though, because if you leave stuff hanging low and you accidentally swing low and hit it, it's gonna hinge big time. So now I'm holding it in my back of my hand. I'm still using the lighter bopper so I get a little quicker swing. I'm gonna hold it fairly tight in the back of my hand, but I'm just gonna set this part on my leg and nothing else. There's crack in there, so I don't know what's gonna happen. So I didn't try to do too much because it was going low too, so I just hit it medium, sort of. And it ran down to here and got out some of that cracked area. You can see orange there from where there was water in it. And again, you raise up the lower part. So now I've got a ridge over there and a ridge over there, so I'm gonna hit each one separately and it'll run kind of along there. But it's low right there, so I'm not gonna do too much again. And it goes low there. So I just put it down here And see how that ran down here all the way to here? And there's a cracked out area right in here, and I didn't crack anything out, so that's kind of okay. So now I'm going to gently do that same sort of thing over here, and I'm tilting it up a little bit. Just kind of rather down feathered into that area. Now I've got kind of median ridge again, so I can go up a little bit above this. And try and run down that median ridge. And it started diving right there, and I hit it a little bit harder than I would have preferred, but it's okay. I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm gonna lose this anyway, that's cracked. So, but it might still hold up long enough to be a platform for some of this other, so I'll leave it there for the moment. It looks kind of like I got a natural platform right here, but it's chalky. I don't know if I can take a flake here or not, but since my options are kind of limited, it might be good to try. No, not really. Well, I kind of took a little flake. I don't know how much to do with this. Is this stuff interesting to y'all or not? Putting it all along over here. Ran down to there and stopped, and that's why I didn't hit it hard, because I knew I was going into that. Same thing here. Same thing here. After you have been napping a while, you'll get a sense of how hard you can hit to get away with something. You know how big the flake is. Didn't really say anything about support that time, but obviously I was supporting it. Notice I'm still working mainly the ends, because, okay, so I've got now it's getting a little smaller, and I've got it supported all along it, and under here, this little hump, I'm trying to get that off. Flattening. This isn't quite good enough to, I would like to hit that there, but it isn't quite good enough of a ridge there. The question will come is, can I undercut it? I think I actually can. See this hump? I'm wanting to undercut it. So I kind of pull on it a little bit maybe. There's a little hump. He's playing the drums. Okay, so now I'm gonna try and shoot one right there. This is actually a little too low. Try and shoot one right on here. A little bit, and I want to try and raise this up a little. Sometimes I'll hit hard with my abrader like I'm gouging into the rock, and it works kind of like a little billet, sort of. Crap. Getting out on the chalky part, and it's just blowing up on me. Now I need some strategy here. I need to figure out how I'm gonna wrap around all this crap. Hang on. So get everything stuck in there, support it all on the back, held under here, and hitting downward, turn this edge. Just chalk, there's not any rock there. Actually not any rock till right about there, so I need to lose all that crap anyway. But really, in a way, this is somewhat similar to zigzagging, because I turn that and I'm going to hold it out here everywhere, put it down on here and just hit about downward like that and take that off, in theory. And it kind of wrapped. So now, how do I want to leave this thing? Oh, I'll do it again. See how I'm holding it up on here? And that's downward and I'm hitting down. Well, when you do that, the vibration that oscillates and causes in-snap can't happen. Okay, so now I'm going to just bop into here a little bit, holding all out here, hitting downward into the pad. I was trying not to get too high on that and hit above the edge too much, because I want the force and the vibrations to just go inward. And the leather kind of makes it trapped and feathers it. See how I just sort of rounded that off? Well, remember, that's all chalk. So, and this is already flat, so that doesn't really matter. So I was bringing this up because I need to shoot right in here and straighten all this out. Holding everything real supported, now out underneath the edge with my little finger. And just barely catching it in a very downward pulling motion. It's 17 minutes, so I'm going to stop and restart and come right back. I'll be right back.